Action doesn't just happen. You need to start somewhere, and it usually starts with an idea. And then once you have an idea, you get people together. And then this is what Youth for Change, Ideas Powered by Passion is all about, is that we have some young minds who have a vision for the future, basically this event, which is supposed to bring what ideas we have and then see how we can go about them and turn that into action.
I don't know how often you get the opportunity to take action, I suppose, and it's hard to start something when it's just one person or just yourself. I don't know, it makes you vulnerable, I guess, especially as a youth. You don't really get that platform very often. But then I feel once we get talking and we share ideas and you kind of give and take all these ideas, that you become less vulnerable and more supported by everyone there.
I think probably the biggest challenge would be overcoming personal doubts and self-consciousness. I think it's overcoming doubts about are my ideas worth sharing? Do I have the talent? I think that those barriers need to be broken, and I think youth need to put themselves out there and know and believe in themselves that their ideas are worth sharing. And I think creative art expression is probably the best way to do that, because you can reflect on your own weaknesses, strengths, your passions, your fears, and that self-reflection then kind of evolves into thinking about what you really want for your community, where you want to go. And I think when you share that, it inspires other people and just creates a cycle of reflection, which I think is very important.
I think the value in collaboration, it builds community, and I think in the creative community that we kind of use our fears to express ourselves sometimes, and that feeling kind of transcends itself into everyday life, where we can't see past the competitive nature of our own selves. And I think collaboration opens up that dialogue where we can eventually grow as a community.
There is a really huge fear of collaboration. You know, I've definitely been there. When I first started out, I definitely, I can't share this with that person because that's going to take away from my success. You know what I mean? But that's not the case. I'm going to make a lot more success if I do share with this person, because that person gets a little bit of my success and I get a little bit of theirs, or we combine all of our successes and then we're incredibly successful. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think we have to get our basics done first. People living in Cape Breton should have a way to be able to not worry about things that we need, like a good education or good food, maybe a place to stay, or just being happy, because that comes first before even building onto what you have.
I'd say that the biggest concern I had growing up was, I'm from Big Pond, which is a very, I guess an aging community would be the word for it. So a lot of times it's a matter of, you almost feel like a minority in a strange way, because you want all these things, you want the betterment of the community, and a lot of people want to live here and they're trying to figure out how that can be possible. But at times it almost seems like we're expected to leave at this point, which sucks, and it's hard because a lot of us want to stay, but there's this kind of stigma like, oh, the youth don't like it in Cape Breton. Cape Breton is bad for you. There's nowhere for them to go. But I know so many people who love it, and I think that was my biggest problem, was people doubting my love for my own home, which is weird.
When there is something to do, there's this phenomena in Cape Breton where nobody does it. Like, people whine on and on about how there's nothing to do, and I mean, it is a struggle in an area of economic disparity with a constantly declining population. It's hard to get things going, but people do things like this. There are people out there who are working tirelessly to ensure that there is stuff going on, and they're having some degree of success, except when things are going on, a lot of times it seems like nobody shows up, and a lot of times those are the same people who are complaining about it. And it's hard to say sometimes if that's because of just a pessimistic mentality or if it's because of like a difficulty in marketing things.
Basically, with the thing with Cape Breton now is that a lot of people are leaving to do what they want to do, and basically they're leaving because they don't think Cape Breton is where all the stuff is happening, And with programs like this, it's basically telling people that, you know, stuff is going on. We need everybody to stay in order to get Cape Breton to where people want to come instead of where people want to leave.
I think that Cape Breton is a great place full of talented people and especially talented youth. And I just hope that we can really take advantage of that, and that everybody can take advantage of themselves and maybe work together to make something really big here in Cape Breton that can make us stand out more.
Let's hold it down for Cape Breton. Yeah, drive up on the land side like a 150, no sirens. From the city to the island, need some bars around the corner. There's a lot of stores with these memories I'm a holder. I fell in love in Nuana from a show. Is it what talking about? Hit a home runs, never striking out nothing but that. When we bring the lightning out, I'm talking about the gangsta. We ain't talking about the table, rockin' fresh and close by the day. We ain't taking about the hand, but still a backpack rapping in the hallway. Hit me up with CDs, so for $10.
Turn the beat up a little bit though. For real though. I'm just really, I love this place. And I know that it's not what I do. And that's what all my music is about. Literally, like all my music is about this place. I don't get to live here and sleep and breathe the air all the time, but I live it and I breathe it and everything. And I'm whether I'm in Australia, I'm still like Cape Breton for life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not because it looks cool, it's because I really, truly, I love it.
I'm super inspired because I get to teach youth every single day, so I can see kids every single day, and I get inspired by them every day. But to see people come out not because they have to, but because they want to, I think is super important. So I see kids going to school and they have to be there. Okay, so that's part of their everyday life. These kids came out because they wanted to be here and they wanted to share something that they're excited about, and you don't get to see that every day.
I find this is just a start of a lot of things that are going to be happening around here in Cape Breton. So anyone that does support stuff like this and is involved in like hip hop, spoken word, they're like photography, anything that if they're not actually already involved in this Youth for Change thing, they should come out and support it, just to bring the whole creative community together.
I find like there's no reason why people from different areas can't work together, and I think that's a big part of what this is. I mean, this event is fun anyway, so I mean that's kind of an opportunity in of itself, but in the long term I think its function is to bring people together, and when you bring people together, that'll also help them to like continue progressing further in the future and to continue doing things and to draw more people into it until eventually you can have a more strong, tight-knit community of like-minded people in terms of having things going on.
Mentorship means the world because, like someone like me, I grew up in a time when there was no really many people doing hip-hop music here in Cape Breton. I never really had anybody that I could look up to or learn from, and I think just being in the same room and having this type of space and this type of workshop, it just it kind of inspires everybody, inspires me and inspires everybody else. It's just like you build off everybody's energy, and it's kind of something that is only in like a individual like type mentorship, like workshop environment. You don't get the same like inspiration as doing it like to a computer screen or something like that.
I think it's very valuable because you get to see how more experienced people do things that you're doing already. And I know that when you find someone else that's interested in what you're doing, it's a really cool feeling.
The Youth for Change event really gives an opportunity for youth to express themselves, to be with other creative people in the community and build something that they want to see for the future. And I think it's really important that we do that without the fear of not working together and the fear of being alone in the community. I think that's a big issue with our youth. They feel alone and they want to kind of change that.
Before I was just kind of alone, on my own, like whatever I think about about Cape Breton and the problems, the good parts of Cape Breton, but now I feel like I'm a part of a group that is dedicated to something as opposed to just talking about it with friends hopelessly.
I will always want to be a part of this event. It is something that has brought something out of me that I didn't really believe I had before, so.